Congratulations on becoming part of the Fisher family. Your new metal detector has been carefully handcrafted by the most knowledgeable professionals in the industry. Fisher M-scope detectors have been made in the United States since 1931. With 70 years of experience behind each detector that leaves our factory, you are guaranteed the long-standing tradition of built-in quality.
Hello, my name is Bob Reynolds for Fisher Research Laboratories. I work as a special process engineer for a major aerospace company out of Mesa, Arizona, and I'm also an authorized Fisher dealer. I've been an avid metal detectorist for over 23 years, and today I'll be showing you the general setup and use of your metal detector. I'd like to congratulate you and welcome you to the Fisher family.
A deep-seeking detector is not doing the job if its response is too faint to hear. Fisher's 1266X and XB are deep search, all-purpose metal detectors. They are designed to help find those small, deep targets, and at only 3.9 pounds, the 1266X and XB machines are the lightest high-performance metal detectors in their class. Both units are identical except that the XB disassembles to fit into a compact carrying case small enough to carry on most airlines. Your new detector is just about ready to go. Unpack the machine carefully and set the carton aside. Begin by sliding the lower stem into the upper handle, then connect the search coil cable to the control housing. Adjust the stem length and coil angle so the search coil rests flat on the ground, about 6 to 12 inches in front of and slightly to the outside of your foot. Stem length is adjusted by loosening the lower lock nut and allowing the spring lock to snap into one of the holes in the upper handle. The coil angle is adjusted by loosening the nylon wing nut on top of the search coil. Once you have set a comfortable length, wind the coil cable in a manner that avoids any kinks or overstressing of the connections. Spend some time getting to know the control panel of your metal detector. There are 8 controls you'll need to learn. Discriminate 1 is the normal search mode. The 1266X automatically operates in this mode unless the trigger switch is used. Discriminate 2 is similar to Discriminate 1 except that it operates only when the trigger switch is used. Discriminate 2 is used to aid in target ID. The headphone jack accepts most stereo and mono headphones with 1/4-inch plugs. When used, the speaker is automatically disconnected. The sensitivity control is a dual-range, push-pull knob that controls sensitivity to targets and ground minerals. Pull and rotate it clockwise for normal operation in mineralized soil. Push and rotate it clockwise for even more sensitivity in non-mineralized soil. Sensitivity is the most misunderstood control on many detectors. Think of it as the gas pedal of your car. On a long straight highway, low mineralized ground, you can give it more gas, but on a twisted mountain road, highly mineralized ground, you'll achieve more depth and a safer ride by cutting back on the gas. If your detector is acting erratic, cut back on the sensitivity until it smooths out. The trigger switch is a spring-loaded trigger and has 3 positions. In the relaxed position, the 1266X is maintained in the Discriminate 1 search mode. When pushed and held, the detector automatically switches into the Discriminate 2 mode. When pulled and held, the 1266 automatically switches to the zero motion pinpointing mode. This jack is to be used only with the optional recharge kit. NiCad batteries may be recharged from a 110 wall outlet or a car cigarette lighter without removing the batteries from the control housing. Be sure to keep the search coil parallel to and as close to the ground as possible. Also pay attention to the speed at which you move the search coil. Sweeping too quickly will produce too many false signals. Slowing the speed of the coil will increase target separation and add depth. Be sure to overlap your sweeps to avoid missing any good signals. 2 drop-in battery packs are located in the battery housing below the armrest. Each pack contains 4 AA batteries. Remove the battery end cap by partially unscrewing the knob on the battery end cap. Remove the battery packs and replace all 8 batteries. Be sure to pay attention to the plus-minus polarity of the batteries. The battery check button when pressed will give a loud tone for fully charged batteries. Your metal detector does not require a lot of care, but there are a few things you should do to keep it in peak operating condition. If you are not going to use it for a while, take the batteries out. Acid damage caused by leaking batteries can be severe. Also avoid extreme temperatures, like inside a closed car sitting in the sun. If you scrub the coil on the ground, you will eventually wear through the bottom. Replacement coils are expensive. Instead, invest in a coil cover. Put a plastic bag over the control housing if you are hunting in the rain, fog, or dust. Wipe off the lower stem before sliding it into the upper stem to keep it free of sand and dirt. Simply put, keep your metal detector clean and dry. Now that you've familiarized yourself with the new 1266X, there's a few things you need to be aware of before you head out to the field. 1. If you wear jewelry, now's the time to remove it and put it in your own pocket so you don't have to recover it later. Also, another important fact is we talked about coil control. A lot of people have a bad habit in the field of doing what we call a golf swing. It is important to keep that coil parallel to the ground and running smooth at all times. As you head out in the field, remember your ethics. Fill all your holes, remove your trash, and whenever you have the opportunity, share your hobby with the child.
As always, should you have any questions regarding your new metal detector, please refer to your operating manual or contact your local Fisher dealer. And at any time, you can contact the factory customer service department for additional information. This is Bob Reynolds for the Fisher Research Laboratory. Thank you and happy hunting.
Doggone, that's a 1905 Barber $1/2. That's a great find.
And that's only a small sample of what you're going to be finding soon with your Fisher X-Series metal detectors. I'm Joe Henderson from Sumter, South Carolina. When I began metal detecting in 1973, I was finding lots of coins, lots of relics, lots of artifacts. In fact, I found over 95,000 coins, lots of gold rings, silver rings, and other nice valuable finds. But it wasn't until 1983 when I purchased my first Fisher that I really began to find the deep coins, artifacts, and relics that are real valuable. If you'll follow these simple instructions that we're going to show you today on this video, I'm sure your finds will increase dramatically too. What we're going to be covering today is your discrimination settings, your search patterns, how to dig a signal, how to pinpoint a signal, and other things that might help you out and make you a better coin shooter or relic hunter. It's highly important that you set your discriminators correctly if you're going to do any coin shooting. And this also applies to relic hunting or whatever else you're going to do. I like to set my controls at about just around 49, just before you get to the 5 on disc 1. Now on disc 2, I'm going to set it over here just a little higher where on this particular detector, and I'm sure yours is about the same, but each detector may vary just a slight bit. You'll have to experiment a little bit until you find out the best place. But I set mine at about 6.5 to knock out the pull tabs. And once you have your discriminator 1 and 2 on these settings, you're ready to begin a hunt, and you're going to be knocking out the pull tabs, but later on I'll show you how we can knock out the large aluminum caps too. So let's turn the machine on here and we'll get started. I don't turn mine on all the way when I'm not using headphones. So I'm ready to go now, and incidentally I've had my sensitivity set at about the 3 o'clock level here, and I always check my batteries before I start. So now I'm ready to go. With our controls all set, it's time to learn how to do the sweeping. Go real slow, and I make about a 5-foot sweep going very slow. I take about a 6 or 7 inch step. And here you notice you're getting a little small tick. That's a piece of nail or some other debris. And just ignore these type signals. It's not going to be a coin or anything. It's too small. When we hit a good signal, you'll see what I mean. Walk very slow. Be sure you cover your area a couple times when you sweep. When you walk this slow and you do this, you'll find that the targets are not as plentiful as they normally would be when you're walking a little faster. But what you're doing, though, you're going to find the deeper coins and relics a lot easier. So be sure and use a slow sweep method, and always dig any kind of signal you come to, whether it's a light signal, as long as it's a solid signal. And we'll show you what we mean by a solid signal. To show you what a solid target is, we've buried 4 coins here right in a row. And here's the first one. This is an Indian head penny, and I buried it at about the 1 inch level. And we're going over it on disc 1. Now we push in and get on disc 2 and we go over it, and you'll see there's absolutely no change in the signal. And that's what we're looking for. Now, let's pinpoint this. We're going to go real slow. And that is pinpointed right where you see the little piece of tape we've laid down here. Now we're going to recover this just to show you that we did have a penny at the 1 inch level. And that is an Indian head penny. The second signal we buried here is a silver dime. We've got it at about the 2 inch level. So let's see how this sounds. As you can see, it's right over, the signal is right under the piece of tape we've put down here so we could pinpoint it. Now I'm going to push the trigger forward on the 1265 here, and we're going to go over it again. Notice there's no change in signal. Now we're going to recover it. We're going to go in. We're going to make a sort of a V shape, and we're going to pull the coin out. And notice it was exactly under where we had the tape, where we'd previously buried the coin, so we could pinpoint it. The next thing we have buried is a buffalo nickel, and we buried it at about the 3 inch level. Now we're going over this in disc 1, which we have set at about the 49 position. And notice we're getting a real good signal. However, I'm going to push the trigger forward and get in disc 2, and we're going to go over it, and it's gone. Occasionally you get a small tick like we're getting here. So this is what happens when you're using the higher discrimination. It knocks out the iron, the nickel, and the gold. So you'll have to make a decision yourself whether you're going to use the higher discrimination and knock out the nickels and the gold. Right now we're going to go back over with disc 1, and we're going to go ahead and dig it up. It's pinpointed right under the piece of tape. Like I say, this is a little deeper. And you can see it was right at the end of my fingers, which would have been at about the 3 inch depth. Incidentally, all these coins you see I'm finding here on the program, I've already found before, and we've just put them out here so we could demonstrate how to pinpoint and how to dig your signals. Okay, the next thing we have is a large cent, which is about the size of a 50-cent piece. Different metallic content, of course, but we're going to go over it. First in disc 1. Then we're going to go over it, we're going to go back over it in disc 2. Notice the signal hasn't changed.
And I buried this one a little deeper at the 4-inch level, maybe even a little